Good morning, I'm Clinton Griffiths, and this is day 3 of the Pro Farmer Crop Tour. Today, scouts are already on the move. In the east, they're traveling from Illinois into eastern Iowa. And in the west, they're leaving Nebraska City and spending much of their day in western Iowa. Now let's briefly look back at the numbers from day 1. Now in Ohio, Pro Farmer Scouts estimating corn yields at 174.17 bushels to the acre, down almost 6% year over year. USDA, they put the state at 190 bushels to the acre. As for soybeans, remember, this is formulated by counting pods in a 3 by 3 foot square, coming in at 1,131.64 pods, down more than 5% from last year. USDA estimating the state at 57 bushels to the acre on soybeans. Now in South Dakota, where Pro Farmer Crop Tour scouts are estimating 118.45 bushels per acre for corn, that's down almost 22%. USDA putting it at 147 bushels to the acre. For soybeans, scouts counting 871.40 pods in a 3 by 3 foot square, down 12% from a year ago. Now USDA, it came in at 43 bushels to the acre. Now portions of South Dakota heavily impacted by drought and dryness, but so is Nebraska, where the western leg spent day 2. As Farm Journal's Tyne Morgan reports, summer heat domes over the state have left their mark.
Nebraska's been probably more disappointing because we expected more. A lot of irrigation in Nebraska.
As Brent Judas trekked across Nebraska this week, dryland fields north of Grand Island showed scars of both drought and heat.
We had some years yesterday where it tipped back from the top 3 inches, from the bottom 2 inches. It was consistent, top down, bottom up. That's something I've never seen before.
Those fields producing a yield ranging from 17 to 35 bushels per acre. And as Judas got into fields just east of Grand Island Tuesday morning,
this one here had a lot more stress than this one did, but we've seen that for a day and a half now.
Scouts saw irrigated yields up from Monday's routes across Nebraska, but still well below average.
First one was in the 140 range, and we had a 158, I think. So that's 30, 40 bushel less than we expected, but even way less than normal for this area.
Randy Holes is a scout this week, but he also farms about 20 miles south of Lincoln.
These ears are still upright for the most part. Ours, a lot of them have dropped. So that means rain is not going to help it.
He says the majority of his area is dry land, and those acres are so dry that corn harvest will be one of the earliest on record.
We're looking at next week possibly on the short season, early planted. So, and
typically harvest in August?
No.
He says the last time corn harvest happened in August was 2012. The drought plus the heat is proving to be a brutal combination for Nebraska farmers, as Hull's outlook for southeast Nebraska's crop remains grim.
Way below normal, for sure. Soybeans, I'm really concerned. They need the rain right now.
And Judas says for him, soybeans were the bigger disappointment across Nebraska this year.
This year, they're showing stress. They're white in the afternoon. They got their leaves upside down. There's areas in the field where there's some browning going on, where they're giving up. I haven't seen this much stress on my 10 tours.
All right, thanks, Tyne. Now in the east, scouts on day 2 made their way from central Indiana into central Illinois. The 2 I-states getting some timely rains recently, but are they enough to bump up yields? Ag Day's Michelle Rook is covering the eastern leg of the tour.
On day number 2 of the Pro Farmer Crop Tour, the theme here in Indiana seems to be a tale of 2 crops, with soybeans still holding great yield potential while the corn has been a bit disappointing. Driving up to cornfields in Indiana, the crop looks healthy and high yielding, but as eastern leg agronomist Mark Bernard got into this field, he was disappointed to find some brittle snap and tip back.
Just goes back to the moisture situation and the heat. It's certainly not the 7 to 8 inch type years that we like to see.
There's also variability, and so Bernard thinks all this could result in corn yields below the 2021 tour average at nearly 193.5 BPA. And some farmers in Indiana are finding the same trend.
Well, last year we exceeded 200 on an average, like a 205 average in our farm. And I think we're going to be a 190 to 200, I hope, this year.
And I think I'm probably going to fall between that 180 and 190 this year because of the extreme dryness and heat in east central Indiana.
However, the soybean crop is another story due to moisture. Planting was late, followed by drought conditions in June. Since then, the areas on the drought monitor have shrunk and recent rains may have spurred pod development.
I'm impressed so far with the pod counts considering how dry it's been. It's really not a bad looking bean crop thus far.
Counts generally reflected that, running above last year and the 3-year average of 1,148 pods. Farmers hope that translates into bumper soybean yields, especially with little disease or insect pressure.
Soybeans are looking really good. We've had timely rains in August, and that's usually when beans are made. So I've got a lot of high thoughts about our soybean yields.
I'm Michelle Rook reporting.
All right, thanks, Michelle. And this may be a sign of just how difficult the weather has been for many producers this year. New prevent plant numbers from USDA's Farm Service Agency August report. Now, it puts prevent plant acres at 6.4 million. That's 3 times higher than last year. Corn, the hardest hit, with more than 3 million acres unplanted. North Dakota has just over 1 million acres of that, and there's more than 500,000 in South Dakota. And we're continuing to bring you the very latest from the tour, both online and on air. We'll bring you Day 3 results again tonight during Crop Tour Live. Make sure you join us at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. You'll find the link at agweb.com/crop tour.